Elijah. I am
Start
9
again.
years.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Elijah. I am 9 years old, and my parents homeschool me. When my dad asked if I could give my testimony for worship, I was a little bit nervous. I said that I was not sure, so he did not pressure me. He just asked me to pray about it first. And my dad said, "Let God speak to you." On Friday morning, the first verse that I read was 1 Samuel 10, verse 1. "I have appointed you to lead my people." This verse really stood out to me. I felt that God was telling me to be a blessing to others, so by God's grace, I'm here now sharing what God has revealed to me recently. What I want to share about today is how reading my Bible and listening to God has made an impact in my life. I started reading a children's Bible when I was 5 years old. But then I asked my parents for an adult Bible, so when I was 7, I got an NIV Bible for Christmas. My goal was to finish reading it. By God's grace, after a year and a half, I was able to finish it. Reading my Bible has helped me to know more about God and grow spiritually. Even if I accepted Jesus into my heart when I was 4 years old, I didn't know many things about God. In fact, I had many doubts that would come into my head about faith. I wondered if the Bible was true, if Jesus existed, and I had questions about other religions. I also wondered about how I can love God even if I can't see Him. My parents told me that it is okay to have questions, but to keep reading my Bible so I would understand what is true. I would ask my parents many questions about faith and God, but I also studied the Bible on my own too. Almost every morning, I would try to read at least 5 chapters of my Bible. My mom encouraged me to write down the verses that I liked and that were meaningful to me. Some days I would feel God speaking to me, and some days I did not really know what to write down in my journal. For me, some of the difficult books to read were from Exodus all the way to Deuteronomy. But I just kept reading, and my dad also encouraged me by saying, "Before you read, pray to God and ask Him to teach you something about Him that is meaningful and that you can apply in your life." So as I read my Bible, God would teach me about who He is and what I was supposed to do. I began to understand more about Jesus and how much God loves me. And God helped me to know how to make choices and decisions. For example, I found out a few weeks ago that my eyesight grade increased from a grade of about 200 to 400 in my left eye and 200 to 425 in just 2 years. At first, I felt really bad that God did not answer our family prayer because my dad would pray for me almost every night that my eyesight would get better. So I struggled with my frustration and disappointment towards God. In fact, I even cried because I felt that like God wasn't taking care of me, even though I was following Him. But my parents took me to a restaurant to cheer me up, and one of the things that we talked about was the verse in Jeremiah 29, verse 11, which says, "I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope." When they were sharing this verse with me, I remembered it because I had read it before in my quiet time. I'd also written it down in my journal. Thinking of the verse again comforted me. I realized that God has plans bigger than I can ever imagine, even if I had my own plans for myself. All of us have our own dreams for ourselves, but God has the best plans for us. I really wanted my eyes to get better, but He didn't let it happen. But since He loves me, He will always take care of me. And I can trust Him even when it is hard. So I made the choice to believe that God is still good, and then afterwards, I didn't feel so sad. I was happy and excited about God's plan for my life. I'm so thankful that I have developed the habit of quiet time and reading my Bible early. And I am so thankful to the Lord that I am homeschooled because I have lots of time to read my Bible. Of course, I still have a lot to learn, so I'm reading my Bible again. Please pray that I will continue to follow God even as I grow older and that I will love Him more and more. I also hope that all of us will want to seek God and spend time with God to learn more about Him. To God be all the glory. God bless you all.
Bring the iPad. Go down.